So we just wrapped up doing the last of our webinars on accountability and raising the bar. What were your takeaways?
Well, number one, what a great group of people. I had so much fun working with them. So that's number one. Number two, I love the conversation about empathy. You know, at this time, I'm getting almost overwhelmed with email messages talking about the importance of empathy. And it is true. And there's another truth that we can have too much empathy, where all that we do is empathize and we don't refocus the conversation to a business conversation. And so I thought we had a great conversation about the difference between empathy and compassion. So that was the second takeaway. The third takeaway is we talked about the 5 mindsets, which I write about in Millennials Matter. And you know what, the more I talked about it, the more excited. And last night I went to bed thinking about that could be my new book. And then I reminded myself, I'm never writing a new book.
So that was quite an aha.
So those were my 3 takeaways from our great session on accountability. What about you?
Well, I focused on, I think, the new pipeline, taking what you're talking about, moving the new, raising the bar. Well, it also requires you got to look at your pipeline entirely differently than you did before March 15th. And we talked about how to define the new pool of candidates that you've got to go after, new prospects. If you had a top 100, you now need a top 200 or 300. The number has literally doubled and tripled. And you've got to know who those people are to call. Secondly, we talked about talking about that empathy and compassion. People do have to make these calls, and what's the purpose of them, right? They want to call with a purpose. And so we identified 2 or 3, maybe 4 themes that would fit here. In particular, we hit that theme of not only calling to check their status, but then also there are other things that you can talk about. Depending on your business, it could be service. How are they doing there? Do they need help keeping their machinery running, or their plant going, or their office, even though it's remote, still needs to be able to run services. And then there's also those educational conversations that can go with that. Set them up, though. They've always got to begin with how are you, empathy, and then connect with what's the status, both for them personally and for the company. So it was really a lot of fun, and measuring that, I think, is going to get people ready for the next 6 months as we come out of this craziness that we've been through.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things that you and I have talked about for next steps. One is that we are going to have virtual office hours.
Yep.
For any sales leader, sales manager, business executive, CEO who's having challenges managing and motivating that remote sales staff, we're going to be holding office hours on Thursdays at 3 o'clock for the next season. And number 2, we've also talked about that if there's organizations that would like to bring this series, this sales management series in, that you and I would be open to customizing and providing, using this as a support tool as they look at how to raise the bar in their own organization.
Well, it is so challenging. I think if we can get in there and help them, both the management and the salespeople would definitely benefit in being able to give them a direction. So we put a bit.ly right here. So if you all click on that and join us, we just look forward to seeing you.
Sounds great. And pass the word to your friends.